Hi. So this is in response to a question from my friend Brenda, who asked for some help on building momentum or keeping the momentum going. Once you start on a healthier trajectory and you start to take things more seriously in your life as far as your health is concerned, how can you keep it going, right? No one wants to be on diets. But sometimes we feel like a diet is the only way we can build momentum because it's strict and it's a protocol and it's things that we are to stay within these lines and we're not allowed to stray and we feel really safe within those confines. But then what? Then when we're done the diet, when we achieve whatever goal that we've set out for ourselves, or when we're so tired of white knuckling that we can't do it any longer and we say, forget it, I can't do this anymore, I'm done. We go off the diet and back to our regular patterns. And it's like, why do I keep doing this, right? What happens that keeps sabotaging my efforts? So first and foremost, we need to do the emotional work. We need to understand why we're doing the things we're doing to our bodies. But that's really hard work. How do we get to all of that emotional work when also we're still feeling kind of crappy and we're bloated a lot of time, we're tired, we don't have a lot of energy? Sometimes it's hard to get to that place of doing that deeper work when we haven't even sort of scratched the surface over here of just nourishing ourselves better so that we start to think better and we start to feel better. We start to kind of put that together. How we eat and what we feel are intimately linked. So what can we do? Well, I talk about it like sort of forcing a wheel. If we can all agree that our beliefs inform our behaviors and our behaviors create habits in our lives. And if we can go around in a circle that way, our beliefs informing our behaviors, which inform our habits, which create our habits, then what can we do? Can we change our beliefs? Yeah, sure we can. It takes a while, but we can do it over time, just like I did. Right? I believed that drinking and smoking was super fine. It was like, whatever, everybody does it. Leave me alone. Stop bothering me about the drinking and the smoking. Okay, you live your super uber green healthy life over there. Screw off. Like, I'm not interested in hearing from you. My belief was that my lifestyle, my way of living was sort of careless abandon with, drinking and smoking and being social and a butterfly. That to me was that was my belief, that it was fine to do that it was totally socially acceptable. A lot of my friends, drank and smoked and partied. And so I felt like I was in really good company. And I felt like we were all on the same page on this thing. And so my behaviors were sitting at the bar with my friends, drinking and smoking, and, until we couldn't smoke at the bar anymore. Then we went outside and huddled in that awful corner. And then, of course, my habit became every night after work, 5 o'clock rolled around, ding, ding, ding. The brain's like, okay, it's happy hour. Where are you going? What you doing? Who are you going to see? What are you going to drink? And so that was really my belief informed my behaviors, and my behaviors became habitual. I just started becoming a regular drinker, day in and day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Those were my behaviors and those were my habits that kept reinforcing my belief that this was fine, that this was a good way to live. This was okay. This is, we're taking the edge off. We're the ones living over here, having a good time. All the rest of you square people, you buzzkills, you're no fun and I'm not interested in hanging out with you and you don't have anything in common with me. It's probably true at the time. Now my circle of friends is completely different. How? I changed my beliefs. But how can we force the wheel, Brenda, when you ask, how can we get some momentum going? Because changing beliefs, it can take years, weeks, months, years to really change a belief. And so I don't have that kind of time. I don't know if you have that kind of time. What I want to do is really start to move the needle now. When I make a decision on something, it's like, okay, I want to make a decision and I want to see some type of a result quickly so that I can keep, allowing the success to breed more success and I can keep going and creating more and more momentum. So before we're able to grow our belief of whatever it is, and again, we can believe anything we want. We do. We live on a planet with 7 billion people, almost 8 billion people. this is 2020 that I'm recording this. And so honestly, I mean, we're living in a time where there are people who fully believe that the earth is flat. They believe they can back it up. They have, examples and sightings and like they can studies and fully believe that the earth is flat. I do not believe that the earth is flat. I feel like I have evidence to the contrary. I've seen things that perhaps they haven't, or I just believe differently than they believe. But you can see that people are allowed to believe whatever we choose to believe. So what about pushing back on some beliefs that we have? Diets, diets work for me, right? Let's push back on that. And let's say, if we really look at it, do they? We keep going on them and then off them and then on them and then off them. And yo, we do, right? Up and down, crazy making, not healthy. It doesn't land us where we say we really want to be, which is with some more freedom in our lives around food. We can't achieve that if we're constantly up and down, yo-yoing all over the place. So again, we can believe anything we want to believe. So what if instead of believing something like, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I can never change anything in my life, you chose instead to try to build the belief, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm energetic, I'm not lazy, I am capable. And by believing that, which we can't yet because we're not there yet, we can't just say, okay, I'm going to believe it and then believe it. I mean, it doesn't work that way. I wish it could, boom, sprinkle fairy dust. Yay, we believe that now and we're going to behave in accordance to that. But what we can do is we can say, okay, I'm going to challenge a belief that I hold that's not serving me. And I'm going to adopt a new belief. But before I can really buy into the real belief, I need to see some results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hack the wheel. I'm going to force this wheel a little bit. And I'm going to say, I'm going to behave as if that were true. I'm going to behave as if that belief were already true in my life. So what would a healthy person do? Well, they might right now, like right in the moment, what would a healthy person in this moment, when you make this decision, what would they do in this exact moment? Might they take a deep breath? Might they drink a glass of water? Might they stand up from their desk and walk over to their colleague's desk instead of shooting off an email? Might they, when they're going up to another floor in their office building, get off one floor earlier and take one flight of stairs? Might they prepare their own lunches so that they're not constantly going out with the colleagues every other day and it's like, oh, it's just really not making me feel the best? Maybe I would pack my lunch and try doing that for a good week or two to see if I could get some momentum built up there. What we need to do to force that wheel is to take any action step, even the tiniest step in the right direction towards that, growing that belief that will deliver any type of a result that's positive, that's reinforcing. That's the trick to building momentum. Taking any tiny action step or big action step, but any step that's going to give us any type of positive result, that is going to keep spurring that wheel to keep turning and that momentum to keep building. So I hope that served you, Brenda, and anyone else who's wondering, how the heck do I build momentum in my life using this wheel that I like to call it, this momentum wheel, where we've got beliefs, we've got actions and behaviors, and we've got our habits. So I'll give you an example just to make this really, really tangible. So we all have, I would suggest 99.999% of us watching this video, we believe that oral health is important, that we need to brush our teeth in the morning and at night because it's a good idea. It's a good thing to do. Well, when we're teaching our children to brush our teeth when they're little, you see how that goes, any of you parents. Like, it's exhausting just trying to teach them how to screw off the cap and screw on their toothpaste and how to brush properly and, get out every tooth and all the rest of it. And to even explain to them that this is something that we do because it's good for us. It's healthy to brush your teeth in the morning and in the evening. Well, as adults, we don't need to be reminded ever that it's good for us. And we also don't ever have to be reminded how to unscrew the cap, spread onto the toothbrush, put toothbrush in mouth. Our habits take over. And so much of what we do happens subconsciously, like an iceberg under the surface. Only 5% of what we do is conscious. So we do all of these things which are habitual and helpful, no doubt. It's super helpful to not have to use up all of that brain space trying to figure out how to put toothpaste on a toothbrush. I mean, that would drive us all crazy. So our habits really serve us well until they don't, right? Until we're doing things on autopilot, because 95% of what we do is subconscious. If it's not serving us, it's hard to even see the belief that's driving the behavior because we're so habituated to that behavior. What we need to do is really take a step back, take a bird's eye view of our lives, see where things aren't working the way that we'd like them to be working. So if that's with our health and our weight and our body image and the way that we feel about our lives and our energy, and if we're feeling like we're lacking in that area, we need to take that bird's eye view and say, what am I doing? What do I believe in my life? And what can I do to act as if the opposite were true? What action step can I take that gives me a little bit of a result so that I keep on doing that action so that it turns into a habit that I don't even have to think about? And that's where I'm at in my life. I don't have to think about waking up in the morning and hydrating my body. It is absolutely, at least 10, 15 years. I don't know how long I've been doing it, but it's such a habit for me that I now it wouldn't feel right if I woke up and didn't hydrate. I mean, it would feel so awkward the way that it felt when I first started doing it, where I might forget here and there, like, oh yeah, shoot, I was going to do that lemon water thing. At the beginning, it's easy to forget, but as we get some traction and some momentum and some results, some positive results, it feels good to be hydrated in the morning. I'm pooping better, my skin's glowing a little bit more. I'm not as craving for sugar all the time. Like all of these wonderful benefits, those just keep reinforcing the belief so that we can keep growing the belief that hydrating our bodies first thing in the morning is a positive thing to do. Just like none of us have to remind ourselves anymore that oral health is important and brushing our teeth morning and night, or more often, however often you do it, is good for our health, our oral health. So I hope, again, that this has served you. I love doing these kinds of videos. I am passionate, as you know. I am so excited to be alive and a human at this time because I feel like we're really, really all starting to raise our awareness around the truth about what's going on, about how marketing feeds us lies and tells us that we're not good enough, and we just need to push back, open our eyes to see the truth and to make choices from a place of raised awareness, as opposed to just being on autopilot and resting on our, habits that don't always lead us to where we want to go. So thanks for being here with me. Can't wait till the next time. Bye for now.